Hey everyone, I'm finally back. I had a very crazy week, but it's been fun. Today we have my stack of books over here. I have another stack over here. Um, so today I was going to get into um, the intellectual and emotional body. So, and I know they're separate. Um, they interact um, pretty fluently in my spectrum of existence. So I figured I would combine them. Um, although I might do one video for each one separately, um, just because they are separate, and I think that might be beneficial. Although not necessary because I think you guys can figure out what's the brain and what's the heart, what's feeling and what's thinking. Um, that's the difference. Intellect is intellect and emotion is emotion. Um, so I just wanted to run through some of the things that I feed my intellect with because a lot of people think that it has to be something that's entirely thought provoking. Um, although, some of the things that I really enjoy doing is reading baking books because I like to bake and my daughter likes to bake. So we get books about food and we spend time baking things. This one is 50 Things to Bake Before You Die. So um, I have not attempted any of these yet. But I have read it a couple times, and some of these things are on the list of things to make. But I have not gotten there yet because I've been a little crazy busy. Um, but yeah, this is a really good book. There are recipes from all over the place. There are some of them that are insanely complicated, and then there are some that are just classics, like apple pie. You know what I mean? But it's the way that they go about making them. That's really cool. Um, we have these things, 5 ingredient vegetarian cookbook. So every one of these recipes has the same 5 ingredients in it, um, which is crazy because some of them are very, very, I don't know, complicated. But um, yeah, I don't know. It has 75 different recipes, and each one of them has 5 ingredients. It's kind of cool. I like simple and effective, and I eat the same things for breakfast every day, and it doesn't get boring to me because I really enjoy it. Um, and then I have this book I got and have not even opened it yet, but foolproof vegan recipes. Um, like I said, vegetarian stuff, baking stuff. Um, now my family is not vegan nor vegetarian, um, but knowledge is always good to have. So wherever it comes from is where I find it. Um, I have this book, which is the Necronomicon. Um, it is a very interesting book. Um, it is. I, I don't even know how to describe it to you guys. It's stories, like biblical stories, um, but from a completely different perspective. I also have my Bible here. See, like I don't care where the information comes from. That's my thing. Is that my belief system is based on non-discrimination. So if somebody's talking to me about their beliefs and they are Muslim, I'm gonna listen. If they're Hindu, I'm gonna listen. If they're Catholic, I'm gonna listen, which is where this Bible came from. My grandmother, who was Catholic, but she was raised Protestant. Um, so I don't have those lenses of like separation. Like, this is the same planet. We breathe the same air. Like, part of our realities all overlap. Um, and when you can look at things like that, when you start looking at what's the same instead of the division, um, a lot more things can become clear or become a full picture, become a whole complete idea, rather than just like this bit here and that piece there and this little section. You know what I mean? Um, I also have this fun book, which is the Egyptian Book of the Dead. It talks about like the funerary rites, yes, of the Egyptians and why they embalmed the bodies the way they did, and things like that, which is also really cool stuff to know because, like, mummies exist. Do you know what I mean? Um, I also have, like, this ginormous book. My friend let me borrow this from him. 3 books of the occult philosophies. I have not dug into this book very deep yet. I'm probably, what was this, page 73? Yeah, I'm like 73 pages in. It's not going as fast as it should, but you know, like I said, I don't have yeah, I don't really want to read that kind of a thing when it comes to books. I love books. um I did the Manifest with the Moon. I got the journal and the diary for last year. I got for this year as well, but I have like marked marked pages in there where you know, the manifestations had actually like happened, and like gone back and looked at what I was asking for when, and kind of like what I did at that point in time. If you guys don't know Jenny Florence, she has a really awesome YouTube channel as well. And I think it's called Moon Magic Tarot, maybe. But she's really, really awesome. She does these books. And I really resonated with those at the time, so I did do that. My daughter had recommended this for me, the Journal of Radical Permission. It was written by these cool ladies over here on the back. And Adrienne Marie Brown and Sonia Renee Taylor. So yeah, this book, I don't want to write in this book. I have a I have a stack of sheets of paper that I wrote down all my stuff in this book, because I don't want to mess this book up. I write in normally all my books, but this one that's actually supposed to be written in, I don't write in it. I gotta go against the grain. That's my rebelliousness. So that one is about learning about you and how you work, and that it touches on the 5 aspects of self, but it doesn't really say it like that. It's more about like your physical dynamic, or your emotional dynamic, or your intellectual dynamic. That's how that book kind of like gets into that stuff. So that's kind of like a really, really cool book too. Astrology stuff. Um, my children regret me finding this book, because I'll always say to them, "Oh, honey, your Pisces is showing." My older daughter like I had mentioned, she gets very emotional about things sometimes. Not that sometimes she doesn't have a reason to, but it's just clearly a very big part of her personality. And quite often I'll say things like that to her. And she'll just get mad. She'll be like, "Oh, the stars are aligning. That's why I'm in a bad mood." Like, it could be, you know? Um, but the more you know about like your placements and your signs and stuff like that that are in those placements, the more you see how those things apply to your life. I've been finding that out like the past about, I don't know, I've been looking into this stuff for like a couple of years, but it's been like the past few months have been hitting me. It's like this year, 2025, has been hitting me real hard. And it started off the year with like a planetary alignment, like right on my birthday, which was kind of crazy, and stuff like that doesn't normally happen in the solar system, in the cosmos. So to not only like be around for it to happen, but for it to happen at the time that it happened was, yeah. And there's been some crazy planetary stuff going on since then. So anyway, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I'm reading his second book, A New Earth, and I am about halfway through that book, and I'm trying not to run through it because I really like chewed through this book so fast, that I wanted to read it a second time. And I have slowed my roll a little bit, and I'm reading the next one a lot slower than I read this one. And after that, I want to read this one again. And I will do that because I like books. The Alchemist. This book has so much space for application into your own life. If you have not read this book, read this book. This book is amazing. I love this book, okay? I had a dream about that book. I had bought it and not read it, and then I had a dream about this book, and then I read it. The weird thing is, almost the exact same thing happened with this book. I bought this book with a bunch of other books. Some of them are in this stack. And I had not read it for about 2 months. And it was sitting there, and it was sitting there, and it was sitting there, and I was reading other books. And then at one point, I was watching some other informational thing on YouTube, and they're like, if you haven't read The Power of Now, read The Power of Now. Like, it's so important. It's so great. It'll change your life. And then I read this book because I had already bought it, and it was my intention to read it, but just being like talked to, and it wasn't just the once, it was like 3 times in, I don't know, like 4 days. It was insane. It was a lot. So I was like, that has to be a sign from the universe, you know what I mean? So here we are, and I read it, and I'm here doing this because, yeah, it just feels like something that I should do, is like share kind of like how I got to where I am, and like how I understand, or like my perspective on like the 5 aspects of self, and about how the Adam and Eve process work. And it takes a lot of teachings from a lot of these books and kind of like makes a full picture out of them, which is why I love it. And my daughter, my older one, my Pisces, got me this book. I actually really, really like this book because she knows I'm into a lot of herbology and a lot of like, you guys saw my rocks and like my little crystals and stuff. So this is called Green Witchcraft, a practical guide to discovering the magic of plants, herbs, crystals, and beyond. And I was into all of that stuff um, before she got me this book. But she's like, this might have some things that you don't know yet. So, and I don't, you know, I don't, who has a Bible right next to a book about witchcraft? I don't know. It's not like hexes and things like that, but it's just like the vibrational medicine of those things in nature. That's a whole different ball of wax. And then I have Dr. Joe Dispenza's Trinity of Books, Becoming Supernatural. This book, I highlight, like in my books, I take notes, I scribble. I'm defacing property, but it's my property. I bought it. So I just take like little notes and make like little, insights that I might have as I'm reading. I make them in the books. This one is pretty good. It talks a lot. If I can show you guys, like I have a bunch of my pages dog-eared and stuff. But it talks about like the different vibrations and all these studies that have been done about like the different way attention and meditation and focusing the brain can really like change all the way that you tune yourself, you know? You can be out of whack and then more in whack. Brain frequency, like it's insane. But like this is why I talk about like the 5 aspects of self, because we know we are more than just this little physical thing here in the 3D. Breaking the habit of being yourself. This one is great. If you, okay, so the book that I have, A New World by Eckhart Tolle, and this book are like, this one is like diagnostics and that one is like application. These two should get together in a room and just like talk for like 3 hours and then just like publish the 3-hour discussion, because like this is like all about the mechanics, and that's all about like the vibration. It's like the Adam and Eve process. It's like one half is like the vibrational, and this one too, you are the placebo. Like what you think is what you draw into your reality. Like I just love books because you can do so much with information, and it doesn't take a lot to be able to just draw so many lines to so many other things. It's like the flower of life. That's exactly what it's like, because you have like this point here, this point here, this point here, this point here, and all of them are true and interwoven into the most beautiful tapestry ever, and that's life. Here we are. Welcome. It's amazing. I love it so much. I'm going to leave this one here. And when I come back, we will talk more about the intellectual body, how to feed it, how to clean it, and probably a few other things which I haven't really like ironed out yet. And we're also going to get into the emotional aspects of like information, because you can see I get excited about books. I should have been a librarian probably. That would have made me very happy. Okay, so next time we'll talk about more aspects of books and the type of things that you want to pull out of them, because not everything is super important to everybody. So how to do that is good information. All right, we'll get into that next time. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.